So Jim, we started this journey a little over 36 months ago, believe it or not, right?
Indeed.
And the idea has now germinated from finding a brand, finding a name, and finding the right product, finding a partner. And now as we sit here with all these boots around us, we've grown from one style at the beginning of last year to two styles at the end of the year. And now as we go through the next year, by the end of this year, we're going to have over 40 styles. We've gotten a lot of questions from not only from our existing customers, but people that haven't become customers yet because of where we are. It doesn't have a name on it, but it's one that comes up pretty regularly, and they want to know, why don't we make boots in the US? I would immediately tell them because 99% of all of the boots, shoes, and footwear that's made in the world is made outside of the US. And these giants, Thorogood, Red Wing, have factories here, but even they make the lion's share of their product outside of the United States.
That's the way the industry went, and so we've had to follow the industry. And for us to try to build a factory ourselves, we couldn't even afford that. But that's really not, even if we could, even if we had some big angel investor come in and say, hey guys, here's everything you need for a factory, we need to find the people. And what happened is the skills that have left and weren't turned over to teach other people how to do it has been missing. So the machines in the footwear business are all very old, and so you can find machines, but you can't find the people to run those machines. And that's the struggle that we would have right now, to be able to do things domestically, although we would love it.
That's the first and foremost, is where we start. But we tried, right?
We tried. Through our process, I have contacted probably 3 or 4 domestic making boot companies, seeing if they would be interested in making a line of Duradero boots for us, for our customers that really want that USA made product. And you know what, Todd? I never even got one email or call back when I was inquiring, hey, can you help us out? Would you be interested? And we'll pay you what the going rate is, and we would have a line of boots in our portfolio that were made in USA. We're here. If you guys want us and want to make some boots for us, that would be terrific.
So the other follow-up to that, Jim, is that you, in your experience, and even in the experience we've had thus far, is that just because something's made in the United States doesn't make it better or best, right? What we've tried to do is find the right factory that can create the best absolute value and the best quality we could find. And I believe we've done that. I think our quality has been excellent in all the partners that we've chosen. And we are currently manufacturing boots. We've got a factory in Mexico. We're working with a factory in Vietnam. And we've also got a great new partner that we're developing a relationship with in the Dominican Republic. So we feel really great about everything down to the finishing of the leathers, the type of stitch that we use, the quality overall in the finishing of the products. We've just been very, very pleased with how that happens. So that's really what our criteria is for a factory, right? It's like, hey, if you can make the right product for us and make it look this good, then we're going to be interested.
Yeah, it's the people, it's the materials, but it's also the processes. And those 3 factories in those locations that you mentioned have got great processes. So we're really excited. Those customers of ours who have asked for a waterproof boot will be seeing one very shortly, and we think this is a good one. Fits, it's got all the accoutrements to it, and I think we're off to a good start for our waterproofing. But you got me my pair for trials, my 10.5,
yep.
And the cool thing about this, that sateen lining that you talked about, and I was able to put mine on, and it just really, with our last and our Candido last and the feel for this, you could almost wear this without socks if you wanted to, on the construction site. So, because it's got that nice feel to it.
This will be available in both the soft toe and the safety toe. So let's talk about the differences between steel toe and composition toe, because I hear a lot of dialogue out there that I've yet to see confirmed, right? Yeah. There's people out there saying, oh, comp is lighter weight, right? And one of the things that I've noted in the research that we've done is that we've seen the pieces, the component that's actually utilized for that. and it's maybe 15% lighter, but that's not much when you're talking about a few ounces. So I think one of the main things that steel does for us is that it can give you a lower profile. So when you're looking at this side of the boot, right, steel can be thinner, so we can get a lower profile, whereas carbon fiber has to be thicker, right, to maintain that same level of safety. But in your opinion, what's one of the other benefits?
First of all, they're both safety toes.
Yes.
And so they both must pass our ANSI standards, or ASTM standards. ANSI is the old one, now it's ASTM, and our boots do. They pass impact and compression, so we're able to get the ASTM label for them, and so that's number one, the most important, right? Because it's a safety toe. 15% doesn't sound a lot to us, but 15% is still, considerable if you think about it. And but they've got this technology where they were much thicker back in the day, and this nanotechnology that they have now, they can make those comp toes look pretty close to what they look on the original steel toe. So we're pretty excited about that. Either way, they're safety toes, and they will live up to the ASTM standards.
And I found that one of the most interesting questions that's really the hardest to answer, because our motto is Duradero twice the life. Yeah. And our pitch there is, hey, I don't know how long your boots last you, right? But all I know is that you're going to get twice the life out of them. Whatever that time is, we always like to say, whether it's 6 months or 6 years, we're going to give you another sole. One question that came in specifically, and the consumer says, I usually get holes in the side of my Thorogood after about 9 months of daily use. How long will your boots last me? This is from David W. from Puxkahippie, New York, I think is where he's from there.
If we give him the answer, will he buy our boots?
Yes, I think. What do you want to hear? And I always answer this question one of two ways. First of all, I want to know, how are they using it? But the most important thing is, if you're 6'4" and 345, you're going to wear these boots a lot harder than a guy that's 5'9" and $160. And then second is use case, right? You got to know, well, what are you doing with them? Are you walking 10 miles a day? Our first Resole that we got back, I don't know if you remember this, I almost called you, talked me off the ledge that day, was after 4 months. And after 4 months, we thought, oh my God, our boots, somebody needed a Resole after 4 months, are you kidding me? And I literally called the guy and I said, hi, this is Todd, I'm the CEO from Duradero. And the guy's like, you mean the guy from the videos? And I said, yeah, that's me. And he said, look, he goes, these are the best boots I've ever had. And I went, okay. And I said, do you mind telling me, what kind of work do you do? And he says, well, he goes, I'm a paver. He goes, and normally boots only last me 3 months. He said, these lasted a month longer than any other boot I've ever had. And with the Resole, I'm getting 8 months out of these, and I would only get 3 months out of the others. So,
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
ding.
that went from a oh shit moment to an aha moment, right?
Well, can I just talk to David W?
Please.
David W, don't buy those Thorogoods. Buy the Duraderos. You know why? Because we gave you a little extra width in our last, so you don't blow them out maybe as much. And as Todd said, it's all about fit for purpose.
So our next question, this often comes up. People have a vision of what a factory really is like. And one of the questions is, are they handcrafted? And this came from a guy named The Name's JD. That's his deal. So are they handcrafted?
Todd, what does handcrafted mean?
Yeah.
To me, it means the guy with the leather apron and a few tapes over his finger and tacks in his mouth and drafting up the vamp onto the last and tacking it around, and that's handcrafted to me. We use machines in the business. So let me take, for example, the inseaming. And it looks pretty easy. You see the guy, but if you, on that machine, it's a sewing machine with an engine on it, if you will. It's got all kinds of moving parts. You need to oil it, you need to have the threads, it need to be proper. There's a foot pedal. It's intricate, and if he twists it the wrong way, he needs to do it correctly, and that's handcrafted. So if it is a little bit off, he can hand fix that. Many times they do. They can re-stitch it if they have to. And so there is a whole handcrafted to almost every operation in the shoe business. So if you take lasting and the guy has it in the pinchers and he hits stuff with his foot pedal, pulls it down and lasts the upper, and he looks at it and he sees, oh, it's crooked, this is pulled to the side, he can go back and rework it. So he's handcrafting his work. Because when you talk about the footwear business, everything is handcrafted.
Good. So the next question that we have, and this is a difficult one, but for those people out there that don't know it, is that women buy 10 times as many shoes as men do. That's a little known fact. You probably look in your wife's closet and you know the answer to that question. But it says, are you planning on launching women's boots anytime?
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, we are, and we've got, what we don't want to do is take our men's last, scale that down to a 6 and call the women's. So we want to give the women the proper fitting. I've got the first model last, I think it's a size 6B, I believe, and we are ready to go. And we've got a new partnership where we're going to be able to look to get some women's designed here pretty quick. And I think we talked about it, that we're going to have a woman design the boots, not us, because designing is really not my forte. And so, but we plan on doing that. And I've seen launches of women's with some of the other brands that I worked with, and they never seem to have legs. You know, maybe it's that the fit's just not right, or the design's just not right, or they try to make this boot with the heel on it look like a high heel and like you're going to go to a prom and I think what we should do is talk to the workers, the women workers, and there's a lot more of them now, on what they want. And I bet you we can get a lot of ideas. We're talking directly to the woman consumer and what they're looking for.
Great. All right, Jim, we've got another question here, and this came from Mac Daddy Batty. Okay?
Mac Daddy Batty.
Mac Daddy Batty. And
Right.
He wants to know, why do you all only make that damned wedge outsole in all your boots? Damned wedge outsole. Because that's very popular, first and foremost. So what you'd like to see is, when are we going to come out with a heeled boot?
Mac Daddy Batty, you mean like this one? Yeah, we'll have this one for you this coming July 2024.
Here, I don't have a name of who this came from, but they want to know, and this is a common question for us, how does the Resole process work, and what do I get?
That answer is pretty easy. When you wear out your boot to where you wore down your outsole too much, and you'll know when that is because you'll feel yourself rocking in them, you send them back to us with a free shipping label. Hopefully you saved the box to ship it back to us. And if you didn't, we'll still take them. And we will take off the outsole. We will refurbish the upper. We'll deodorize the inside. We'll give you a new sock lining insert. We'll replace the shoelaces. And if there's any little valet service that might need to be done, such as a skip stitch or a popped eyelet, we'll take care of that for you also. Get them in a box and send them back to you. Free shipping both ways, free refurbishing, twice the life.
And we've determined that it takes about 4 to 5 days for us to do the work, and generally the longest lag time is the shipping. We like to quote 15 business days, so that's a pretty good value. There are companies out there, I won't mention any names, that charge up to $200 for this Resole.
Yeah, Todd, you know, some will charge you just $125 just for the outsole, and if you want to do more to it, that's like a cafeteria style that can get up to almost $225. So with us, you can get twice the life.
So Richard in Wisconsin is asking, what's the break-in period for your boots? And that's another one that is a little tough to gauge, because it just depends. If you read our reviews, which is what I do on days when I'm feeling sad and I need to feel happy, if you read our reviews, most of them are, people like the fact that we've got extra toe room, you've got extra breathability, and that allows them to not have that crimping and that tightness initially. Sometimes there's a little bit of a time period to get that, like I said, we've shown the outsole to break in, right? But for the most part, we believe that our fit currently, facilitates a much faster break-in period.
But we also have a lot of our materials are milled, and so the material itself is soft, and it helps the break-in period. It's almost no break-in period, and we get many reviews that say, boy, these things fit me great right at the beginning, over and above what other brands they have trouble with. And so we're pretty proud of that. So I think between our upper material, that's where our success comes in with break-in period, very minimal break-in period.
So our favorite boot color is brown.
Because that sells the most.
Because that's the answer. Our favorite boot color is the one that sells. That's our favorite boot color. And I think I probably lean more towards this darker, richer. Like I absolutely love the way this coffee looks, and so I think I like that a lot. But I think our most popular color is probably in this range of kind of mid-brown, don't you think?
Yeah, I just love the Crazy Horse. The Crazy Horse for me. I remember being in the Boston Woburn show. It's got to be 40 some years ago when ISA, I think it was ISA Tannery, I might be wrong about that, came out with this. I remember the name Crazy Horse, and it's now ubiquitous in the whole industry. And so there's something about this is a Crazy Horse. Now it's waterproof, so it's got the waterproofing. It's a little bit darker. But it's what you can wear with almost any clothing at all, you know, so that seems to be the right one. But I also like black because we want to be able to sell to the industries that require black. So we will be coming out with black soles, black uppers for those particular customers that need black as a uniform to be able to have for their boots.
So the biggest Duradero boot that we have made to date is a 14 Triple E. And in the new grouping that we'll have in the outside heel, the new waterproof will come 15 Triple E. And when that guy comes in to ask for a boot at a trade show, you want to have an answer for him.
We don't raise the prices over and above because we don't penalize you for being a big guy. So if you go to another brand and you're a 14 or 15, you got to pay a little bit more stipend because you're using more leather for the boot. Now we keep the prices the same as if you were a 10, and we don't penalize you because you're a 14 or 15 3E.
Great point. Great point. So this is a new one. So we talked about our original fit. We designed the last to be full, right? I like to use the word volume. A guy knows if his foot has volume to it. If this was your foot, it has an area here. So our original thought and our original fit, we wanted to fit anybody that had significant volume. And you could even not have a wide foot, but still have volume to your foot. You have what's called a high instep, right? So we believe we've mastered that. We do get questions from people now saying, I'm used to wearing brand X or brand Y, which we will call Thorogood and Red Wing, because they're the kings, right? They're the goats out there. And they want what we call a more traditional fit. So they want that boot to fit them a little snugger initially. So I think that our new traditional last will still run full, but it won't be as full as our existing. Our traditional last won't be as full as our original last. So it'll still fit the guy who's a 10D. If you were a 10D before, you're going to wear a 10D in this one, 10 medium. But if you were on the narrow side, the traditional is going to be better for you. Or if you like that snugger feel, that's how the traditional fit is going to work.
You summed it up perfectly. That's exactly what we're going to do. Our traditional last is going to be mimic closely to brand X and brand Y that you spoke about. And it's going to help the narrow guy and maybe even help the medium, the D-width guy also, if that's what they prefer. And then we will also have the original Duradero fit for those guys that love that fit that we have right now. So.
Oh, if you are Canadian, we love you. You are our northern brothers, but we don't exactly have that CSA certification just yet.
Not yet.
That was another, so this topic of saying, hey, does this guy buy his boots online, direct to consumer? There was some concern that this guy's maybe a little more old school. This guy's maybe, he doesn't do the shopping, period. So we believe that, that's one of our marketing efforts as well. And overall, the entire universe is going directly online. I mean, you buy 10 times more stuff than you ever bought online. I buy 10 times more. The numbers as they go, literally footwear is one of the leading categories for all online purchases that's happened over the last 5 years. But it's gone from single digits to almost 20% of all retail. That means cars, refrigerators, everything now is bought online. One of the challenges we went out facing this initially was, again, battling against the giants, what we call legacy brands.
Yep.
And in some instances, we know that with these legacy brands, they can't even sell from their own website. And so we're finding that we have the ability, which this couldn't happen 5 years ago. You couldn't form a relationship directly with the brand because the internet was all about price and convenience, right? Now it's about discovery. So I think that the idea that we've been able to form this relationship and people see that we have the integrity, the character, the know-how, and we're creating that in-store experience. Or we also have this incredible program called Try Before You Buy. You can order up to 3 pair, keep them for 10 days. That's another service that we offer. So the whole direct-to-consumer shift, we feel, is definitely going to continue to go that way, and we want to make sure we're taking care of those customers.
You know, Todd, what's interesting about that is that we know that the legacy brands are locked into their distribution. And for them to go to a direct-to-consumer model might not be liked so much by their other lines of distribution. So that gives us a little inroads that they don't offer. And we also know that the brands, these legacy brands, are over 100 years old. And so, you know, they've got customers, and we know that those customers are very loyal. And so what we're asking for is to give us a try. Let us earn your loyalty through what we offer, not only in a great product, great customer service, but also the twice the life free resoling. Because if we add up the experience of our partners, you and our partner, we're over 100 years of knowledge right there. And now we're partnering up with another organization that's got just as much tribal knowledge as we do. So our combined knowledge, I think, is now over 200 years. So we kind of know what we're doing, you know, but we don't have the loyalty yet. So we need to work harder. We need to have that customer service, and we need to have a product that performs, and to do something that's a little bit different than what everybody else is doing, and that's our free reselling.
But for the record, nobody here is 200 years old.